If you told me yesterday morning that Chelsea was going to watch Tottenham by 3, I would have called you crazy. If you told me Nicholas Jackson was going to get a hat trick, I would call a psych word for you and get you put in a straitjacket on the spot. That was the wildest game I've seen in a minute. What the fuck was even going on? There was more VAR checks in the first half than Manchester United goals all season. I gotta say though, that shit was entertaining as hell. I'm pretty sure everybody had a good ass time watching that game. Well, unless you're a Tottenham fan, that must have been a miserable experience. If I was a Tottenham fan and someone was to ask me, which striker in the league do you see putting a hat trick on your dome to end your unbeaten run, I'd say something like Haaland, Julian Alvarez maybe, Ollie Watkins, or even Darwin Nunez possibly if he was feeling freaky that day. One of the very last names on our list would have been Nicholas Jackson. The part that really makes it sting for them is that was probably the worst hat trick I've ever seen in my life. I was watching this shit and I genuinely thought Tottenham was actually going to be able to escape with a draw because Chelsea's finishing was that terrible. That header Jackson somehow didn't put in the back of the net was fucking hilarious. It felt like satire at some point. I started to think they were actively trying not to score. I really don't know how you could look at this win and feel good about it if you're a Chelsea fan. For half the game, they were playing against 9 men on the line so high that it greened out, and they still struggled to score. They should have had like 5 goals by the 70th minute. The 1-1 score for most of the game could be attributed to Chelsea being doo-doo and Vicario playing like a damn lunatic. Before we even get to anything else, shout out to him for playing one of the most insane games I've ever seen from a keeper. They had this motherfucker out there playing keeper and center back, and he was clutching for a good while. I don't know if he got possessed by the spirit of Prime Neuer, but he was doing devious work. If I was a Chelsea attacker, I would be tight. They would have put up double figures if he wasn't back there, I swear to God. He the first person I'd ever give man of the match to while conceding 4 goals. Postecoglou was doing him no favors with that fuck-ass hotline neither. Does he have an embarrassment kink or something? Chelsea was ripping through that shit like tissue paper. If they weren't so horrific at staying onside, they would have started running up an American football score. Chelsea is literally the only team in the Prem this will work on. Do you know what City would do with this bullshit in front of them? KDB would be firing them through balls in like missiles. They would have to make up a mercy rule on the spot when City got to 15. To be fair though, Postecoglou definitely would never try some shit like this on City. He's not that insane. From the first 10 or 15 minutes, you'd never guess the game would turn out like that. Let's go through a quick timeline of this shit because it was one of the most absurd 2 hours of football you'll ever watch. In the 6th minute, Madison hits Sarr with a good ball and Coulda finishes off the deflection, tying them up 1-0. At this point, it looks like Chelsea's about to get grilled, and honestly, I wouldn't have minded. Tottenham might be our title rivals right now, but there's never anything wrong with a good Chelsea spanking. In the 11th minute, Jackson gets a good shot on goal, but Vicario makes his first of many ridiculous saves. In the 13th minute, Tottenham put together a beautiful-ass team goal, starting with Madison and Sarr and ending with a smooth finish by Son. And then it was called back for a slight offside, still 1-0. A few minutes later, Udogie charges at Sterling with a wild 2-footed tackle attempt. The commentators seemed to think it was a red. To be fair to them, it was a pretty dangerous tackle. He barely got him though, so a yellow is fair, whatever. Then a couple minutes later, 2 things happened almost at once. First, we got a Sterling goal that was erased for handball. Then they show Romero kicking Caldwell earlier for whatever reason. Romero didn't even get a card for it, though, even though it was a hilariously bad challenge, if you can even call it that. Strange, but we move on. As we get closer to the 30th minute, Caicedo places through a beautiful strike that surely tied the game up, right? Actually, no. Jackson fucked it up by being offsides. It's okay, though, because Romero tried to remove Enzo's legs on the other side of the box, so Chelsea got a pen anyway. Ron Weasley steps up once again to take yet another penalty, and Vicario almost saved it, which is fucking crazy. Still tied up, though. Romero gets a red card, and Tottenham are down to 10 men. This is where the highline fuckery really started. Right away, Enzo puts in a good through ball, and Chelsea end up scoring. But wait, once again, an offsides erased the goal. Now, Tottenham are already on the ropes, so it can't get much worse, right? Wrong. Madison fucks up his ankle, and VDV fucks up his hamstring. They're now down a man without 3 of their 4 best players. Right before halftime, Reece James elbows Udogie in the face without any call, even after a VAR check. Referees got to be blind to something when it comes to anything elbow-related, because this is getting crazy. That was the last terrible offense in the first half full of lunacy. It didn't stop there, though. The second half consisted of the funniest football I've ever seen in my life. It got even more hilarious after Udogie's red. The 25 minutes before Jackson finally scored were pure comedy. They kept busting right through that high line, and either Vicario did some superhuman shit, they missed the chance, or there was offsides. I'm still not over that Jackson header around the 55th minute that he somehow missed. This is a professional striker who ended this game with a hat trick, by the way. Son almost scoring in stoppage time tells you everything you need to know about this game. If he put that through and the game ended 2-2, I would have lost it. There's simply no way they should have even been in the game anymore. Forget about almost tying it. Jackson put together the shittiest hat trick of all time and was celebrating like he just banged out 3 screamers. Chelsea fans who looked at the box score are going to be fooled into thinking he's not mid anymore. Tottenham literally had everything that could have possibly gone wrong yesterday go wrong. This got to be karma for the Luis Diaz offside score. Still feel bad for them, though, because if VDV or Madison's injury is serious in any way, it's done up. City are back on top, of course. I'm going to be honest. Tottenham may be our biggest rivals, but I dead prefer them being at the top. A fourth straight City title would be ridiculous. Prem fans can't say shit about other leagues if City keeps it up like this. That was genuinely such an unserious game. I had the time of my life watching this, bruh. Shout out Chelsea for the win, I guess. Free two-strand twist for everyone.